Greetings everyone. We're gathered here to figure out WTF was, is, or will be. Leopard 2. Let's dive in. The Leopard 2 is a German main battle tank, introduced in the late 1970s as the successor to the Leopard 1. Developed by Krauss-Maffei, it became the cornerstone of West Germany's armored forces starting in 1979. Over the years, various versions of the Leopard 2 have been adopted by numerous countries, including Germany, Canada, Chile, Indonesia, and Singapore. Some nations have even acquired licenses to produce and modify the Leopard 2 locally, tailoring it to their specific needs. The evolution of the Leopard 2 can be divided into two major phases. The first phase includes tanks built up to the Leopard 2A4 model, which are known for their vertically aligned turret armor. The second phase, starting with the Leopard 2A5, introduced a more advanced turret design with angled, arrow-shaped applique armor and other enhancements. All Leopard 2 tanks are armed with a 120mm smoothbore cannon from Rheinmetall, equipped with modern targeting systems like a digital fire control system, laser rangefinder, and advanced night vision. Powering this formidable machine is a V12 twin-turbo diesel engine from MTU Friedrichshafen. The Leopard 2 has seen action in various conflicts since its introduction. In the 1990s, it was deployed by the German Army during peacekeeping missions in Kosovo. In the following decade, the Dutch, Danish, and Canadian armies used their Leopard 2 tanks in Afghanistan as part of the International Security Assistance Force. More recently, in the 2010s, Turkish forces employed Leopard 2 tanks in Syria. As of 2023-24, the Leopard 2 is being actively used by Ukrainian forces in the ongoing conflict with Russia. As the Leopard 1 was being introduced into service, the West German military was already looking ahead to develop a more advanced tank for the next decade. This forward-thinking approach led to the beginning of the MBT-70 project in partnership with the United States in 1963. However, by 1967, doubts arose about whether the MBT-70 would ever reach operational status. In response, the West German government decided to explore potential upgrades for the Leopard 1. They tasked Porsche with conducting this research in the same year. This initiative, known as the Gilded Leopard, Vergoldeter Leopard project, aimed to integrate cutting-edge technology into the Leopard's design. The planned enhancements included an autoloader for the main gun, a coaxial autocannon, and a separate periscope for the commander. Additionally, the anti-aircraft machine gun could be operated from within the tank, and a TV surveillance camera was added on an extendable mast for better situational awareness. The tank's turret and hull were re-engineered with cast steel armor, and improvements were made to the suspension, transmission, and engine exhaust systems to boost overall performance. Prototype development. Following the conclusion of the Gilded Leopard project in 1967, West Germany shifted its focus towards experimental development to explore new possibilities for upgrading the Leopard 1 and laying the groundwork for a future main battle tank. Initially, the government allocated 25 million German marks, but it soon became clear that this budget was insufficient for the ambitious goals they had in mind. Eventually, the investment grew to between 30 and 32 million German marks. Krauss-Maffei was selected to lead the project, with Porsche responsible for the chassis development and Wegmann tasked with designing the turret. Two prototypes were built, each incorporating different components aimed at improving the Leopard 1 to meet the firepower requirements of the then ongoing MBT-70 project. These prototypes were nicknamed Kieler, meaning Tusker, and were designed to achieve a high first-hit probability at distances of 2,000 yards while engaging targets on the move, thanks to a computerized fire control system. The first two Kieler prototypes, labeled ETO-1 and ETO-2, were completed in 1969 and 1970, both powered by the MB-872 engine. Although the MBT-70 was a groundbreaking design, it faced significant cost overruns and technical difficulties, leading Germany to withdraw from the project in 1969. After several attempts to salvage the MBT-70, the decision was made to discontinue the joint development, primarily due to the impracticality of having the driver seated in the turret. Instead, the German Ministry of Defense initiated a new program named Eber, after the Assistant Secretary Eberhard. The Eber prototype combined a modified MBT-70 turret and hull, with the driver relocated to the hull. However, this design never progressed beyond a wooden mock-up. By 1971, the German military decided to move forward with the earlier Keeler project, rebranding the design as the Leopard 2. At the same time, the original Leopard was retroactively renamed Leopard 1, and Paul Werner Krapke took charge of the Leopard 2 program. Initially, two versions of the Leopard 2 were envisioned: the Leopard 2K, armed with a conventional gun, and the Leopard 2 FK, which would feature the XM150 gun launcher system developed for the MBT-70. In 1971, the West German government ordered 17 prototypes, but only 16 hulls were constructed, as production of hull PT-12 was cancelled. The prototypes were equipped with various components to test different configurations, with 10 turrets fitted with a 105mm smoothbore gun and the remaining 7 with a 120mm smoothbore gun. Two of the hulls, PT-11 and PT-17, featured a hydropneumatic suspension system derived from the MBT-70 design. These hulls had 6 road wheels, unlike the standard configuration, which used 7. The prototypes also tested different auxiliary power units, APUs, and varied armament configurations. Most of the prototypes were powered by the MB-873 engine, with road wheels borrowed from the MBT-70 and return rollers from the Leopard 1. Designed with an estimated weight of about 47.5 tons, the welded turret used spaced armor made of 2 steel plates. These prototypes were equipped with an EMES-12 optical rangefinder and fire control system, which would later be adopted in the Leopard 1A4. In mid-1973, Wegmann developed a new, lighter turret design, known as the Spitzmaeus-Turm, or shrew turret, characterized by its sharply sloped front. This design was made possible by the EMES-13 optical rangefinder, which required a shorter base length than previous models. However, after the Yom Kippur War, the demand for increased protection led to the abandonment of the Spitzmaeus-Turm design. The development team increased the weight limit to approximately 55 tons, and the T-14 turret was modified to test a new, blockier armor configuration using vertical modules of spaced, multi-layer armor. This turret, designated T-14 Mod, was equipped with a fully electric turret drive and stabilization system developed in collaboration with General Electric and AEG Telefunken. American evaluation of the Leopard 2nd Avenue and M1 Abrams. In July 1973, German Defense Minister Georg Leiber and U.S. Defense Secretary James R. Schlesinger agreed that greater standardization of main battle tanks across NATO would be beneficial. They discussed the potential cost savings for the U.S. M1 Abrams, developed after the MBT-70, by integrating components already perfected by German companies for the Leopard 2. To explore this, Germany sent a commission to the U.S. to assess the feasibility of harmonizing components between the M1 and Leopard 2. However, due to U.S. procurement laws, once a contract was awarded to private sector companies, external public bidders could not interfere with the process. In response, modifications to the Leopard 2 prototypes were explored to meet U.S. Army requirements. After extensive discussions, a Memorandum of Understanding, MO, was signed on December 11, 1974, between Germany and the U.S., agreeing that a modified version of the Leopard 2 would be tested against the M1 prototypes. As part of this agreement, Germany was required to send a full prototype, a hull, a vehicle for ballistic tests, and special ballistic parts to the U.S. for testing, all at no additional cost. The Leopard 2nd Avenue, austere version, was developed from the experiences of the earlier Leopard 2 models, with modifications to meet U.S. requirements and the latest German defense standards. The T-14 Mod turret served as the basis for the Leopard 2 AV's turret, but achieving the required protection level for the hull took several attempts, with final ballistic tests conducted in late June 1976. Given the U.S. preference for laser rangefinders, the PT-19 prototype's turret was fitted with a laser rangefinder developed in collaboration with Hughes. Compared to earlier Leopard 2 prototypes, The Leopard 2nd Avenue had a simplified fire control system, replacing the EMES-12 optical rangefinder and omitting several components such as the crosswind sensor, various temperature sensors, the Perry R-12 commander sight with IR searchlight, and other equipment. Due to delays in designing and producing the Leopard 2nd Avenue, the U.S. evaluation was postponed, and testing could not begin until September 1, 1976. Despite Germany's preference for simultaneous evaluation of the Leopard 2nd Avenue and XM1 prototypes, the U.S. Army chose to proceed with testing the XM1 prototypes from Chrysler and General Motors first. Ultimately, 2 new prototype hulls and 3 turrets were shipped to the U.S. for testing. PT-20, armed with a 105mm L7 gun and a Hughes fire control system. PT-19, also with the Hughes system but capable of mounting a 120mm Rheinmetall smoothbore gun. And PT-21, fitted with the EMES-13 fire control system and the 120mm Rheinmetall gun. The Leopard 2nd Avenue met all U.S. requirements, and a study by FMC Corporation indicated it could be produced under license in the U.S. without exceeding cost limits. However, before trials were completed, the focus shifted away from adopting the Leopard 2nd Avenue towards exploring common components between the 2 tanks. FMC eventually decided not to submit a technical proposal, as they believed the U.S. Army was unlikely to adopt a non-American developed vehicle. The U.S. Army's evaluation revealed that a greater portion of the XM1 surface was covered by composite armor compared to the Leopard 2nd Avenue. This difference in armor protection was attributed to differing threat perceptions and the rapid development of the Leopard 2nd Avenue to include special armor. In mobility trials, the Leopard 2nd Avenue performed on par with or better than the XM1 prototypes. The AGT-1500 turbine engine in the XM1 consumed approximately 50% more fuel, and the Leopard 2 AV's deal tracks outlasted those on the XM1, which did not meet Army standards. The MTU diesel engine of the Leopard 2nd Avenue also had a significantly lower heat signature. Additionally, the Leopard 2's fire control system and sights were deemed superior, and the 120mm gun outperformed its competitors. However, the projected cost of one XM1 tank in 1976 was $728,000, while the Leopard 2nd Avenue was $56,000 more expensive. After the U.S. Army selected the M1 Abrams, both American and German sources blamed each other for the outcome. U.S. officials discovered that the PT-19 Leopard 2nd Avenue prototype used in mobility trials lacked special armor. In Germany, there was criticism that the test conditions were unrealistic and biased in favor of the XM1. For example, calculated acceleration data was used instead of actual performance figures. The XM1 prototypes had a slightly higher rate of fire, possibly because they were operated by professional crews, whereas the Leopard 2nd Avenue was manned by conscripts to demonstrate that it was not overly complex. Additionally, the firing on the move was tested on flat tracks, negating the Leopard 2 AV's superior stabilization system. Following these evaluations, Germany withdrew the Leopard 2nd Avenue from consideration. Series production. Leopard 2 tanks during a maneuver in 1986. The decision to produce the Leopard 2 for the German Army came after a study demonstrated that this model would offer significantly greater combat capabilities compared to either producing more Leopard 1A4 tanks or developing an upgraded version of the Leopard 1A4. The potential upgrades would have included a 105 or 120mm smoothbore gun, improved armor protection, an advanced fire control system, and a more powerful engine with 1,190 to 1,500 horsepower. Before production began in 1979, several adjustments were made to the Leopard 2 design. These included minor enhancements to the engine, transmission, and suspension, along with improvements to the ballistic protection of the turret and hull to eliminate vulnerabilities. The turret's bustle, which housed the ready ammunition racks and the hydraulic system, was separated from the crew compartment and equipped with blowout panels to enhance safety. Several new components developed during the Leopard 2nd Avenue project were incorporated into the production model after testing in the U.S. was completed. One significant change was the decision to use the Hughes-designed laser rangefinder, which was developed with U.S. common modules, instead of the passive EMES-13 rangefinder. Although the EMES-13 was considered superior, the Hughes system was chosen for its lower cost and readiness for production. Krupp Atlas Elektronik, a German company, acquired the Hughes design license and modified it to meet the German Army's requirements, designating it as the EMES-15. The possibility of installing the US-made a GT1500 turbine engine in the Leopard 2 was also tested by Mach. However, this required significant modifications to the tank's chassis. During driving tests at the WTD-41 testing grounds, the AGT1500 engine revealed several drawbacks, including high fuel consumption and poor transmission performance, particularly with the brakes. As a result, this project was ultimately discontinued. In January 1977, Germany ordered a small pre-series consisting of 3 hulls and 2 turrets, which were delivered in 1978. These vehicles featured enhanced armor protection on the front of the hull. One of the hulls was equipped with the earlier T-21 turret and was used for troop trials by the German Army School in Munster until 1979. In September 1977, an order for 1,800 Leopard 2 tanks was placed, to be produced in 5 batches. Krauss-Maffei was the main contractor, while Maschinenbau Kiel, Mach, was awarded a contract to produce 45% of the tanks. The first batch included 380 tanks, with delivery scheduled to commence in 1979 and continue through 1981. The first production Leopard 2 tank was delivered on October 25, 1979. By 1982, all 380 tanks in the first batch had been completed, with 209 built by Krauss-Maffei and 171 by Mach. Initially, these tanks were equipped with the PZB-200 image intensifier due to delays in the production of the new thermal night sight system, which was later retrofitted. Following the original 5 batches, 3 additional batches were ordered, bringing the total number of Leopard 2 tanks ordered by Germany to 2,125. The 6th batch, ordered in June 1987, consisted of 150 tanks produced between January 1988 and May 1989. The 7th batch of 100 tanks was produced between May 1988 and April 1990, and the final batch of 75 tanks was completed between January 1991 and March 1992. During the Cold War, production of the Leopard 2 reached a peak of 16 tanks per month. Although production slowed in the following decades, Krauss-Maffei Wegmann, KMW, retained the capability to ramp up manufacturing if necessary, provided that supply chains could deliver the required materials. Further improvements. Dutch Leopard 2A4 tanks, 1997. While earlier versions of the Leopard 2 tank mainly differed in minor details, the Leopard 2A4 marked a significant upgrade by introducing a digital ballistic computer and an enhanced fire extinguishing system. Beginning with the 6th production batch, these tanks were equipped with an upgraded armor array and new side skirts for better protection. In 1984, the German Military Procurement Agency outlined several requirements for future upgrades to the Leopard 2, leading to the launch of the Kampfwertsteigerung, Combat Potential Improvement, program in 1989. The first prototypes under this program were delivered in the same year, with official military requirements published in March 1990. The KWS program was designed to be implemented in 3 stages. The first stage involved replacing the Rheinmetall 120mm L44 gun barrel with the longer and more powerful L55 version. This upgrade was rolled out in the form of 225 Leopard 2A6 tanks between 2001 and 2005. Stage 2 of the program focused on enhancing armor protection and overall survivability. This stage resulted in the Leopard 2A5, which began production in 1995. During this upgrade, the base armor was replaced, and additional armor modules were added to the turret. The first batch of 225 tanks was upgraded to the Leopard 2A5 standard between 1995 and 1998, followed by a second batch of 125 tanks from 1999 to 2002. The Leopard 2A5 is easily identified by its angular spaced armor on the turret cheeks and its .44 caliber 120mm main gun. The third stage of the KWS program originally called for a complete overhaul of the Leopard 2 turret. This would have involved fitting a new turret with a 140mm NPZK tank gun, an autoloader, and the IFIS battlefield management system, along with improved ballistic protection for the hull. There was an initial plan to upgrade a total of 650 Leopard 2 tanks to this KWS-3 standard. However, this stage was never fully realized. Although the 140mm NPZK gun was tested on an older prototype, the project was ultimately cancelled in 1995 due to shifts in the political landscape. The funds were redirected to the German Army's new IG Panzerday New Armored Platforms project. One of the later developments, the Leopard 2 A6M, was specifically designed to provide enhanced protection against mines, including those that detonate beneath the hull or use explosively formed penetrators. This version of the tank weighs approximately 62.5 tons. The most recent iteration of the tank is the Leopard 2 A7, which was first introduced with an initial batch of 20 tanks in 2014. Even before these tanks were delivered to the German Army, plans for further upgrades were already in place. These upgrades focused on significantly enhancing combat capabilities while maintaining the tank's original mobility. Improvements to the tank's optics were also planned. In April 2015, reports suggested that the tungsten rounds used in the Leopard 2 were not capable of penetrating the Russian T-90 or the modernized T-80 tanks. In response, the German military began developing a new and improved round, which was expected to be used exclusively with the Leopard 2 A7. In 2015, Rheinmetall revealed that it was working on a new 130mm smoothbore gun for the Leopard 2 and its potential successors. This new gun is projected to offer a 50% increase in performance and penetration, with marketing efforts for the gun expected to begin in 2016. Replacement. The Leopard 2, which first entered service in 1979, is expected to remain in operation until around 2030. In May 2015, the German Ministry of Defense announced plans to collaborate with France on developing a new tank to succeed both the Leopard 2 and the French Leclerc. This joint venture aims to explore and develop technologies and concepts that will define the capabilities needed in a future main battle tank. The new tank, named the Main Ground Combat System, MGCS, is slated for deployment after a series of incremental upgrades to the Leopard 2. These upgrades will include a new digital turret core system, an enhanced situational awareness system, and the integration of an active protection system, APS, to better defend against modern threats. In the short term, an increase in the Leopard 2's firepower will be achieved with a higher pressure 120mm gun, which will fire newly developed ammunition expected to deliver a 20% improvement in performance over the existing L-55 gun. For the mid-term, efforts are focusing on the development of a Rheinmetall 130mm cannon, which promises a 50% improvement in armor penetration capabilities. Given that the Russian T-14 Armata tank is equipped with the Afghanit APS, designed to counter the effectiveness of anti-tank guided missiles, ATGMs, there is growing emphasis on enhancing direct fire weapons in future tank designs. These developments underscore the shifting focus towards maintaining battlefield superiority in an era of rapidly advancing military technologies. Design, protection. The Leopard 2 tank is renowned for its robust protection, utilizing spaced multi-layer armor throughout its design. This sophisticated armor system comprises layers of steel plates with varying hardness, combined with elastic materials and other non-metallic substances. The use of steel plates that are both highly durable and flexible is the result of extensive research into the behavior and penetration mechanisms of shaped charge jets, a technology aimed at countering advanced anti-tank munitions. The tank's armor may have been influenced by the British-developed Burlington armor, which was shared with West Germany in the 1970s. By the mid-1970s, West Germany had received comprehensive details about Burlington, potentially informing the Leopard 2's armor design. The frontal armor of the Leopard 2 is engineered to withstand high-velocity kinetic energy penetrators and shaped charge projectiles, providing substantial protection against modern threats. During the 1980s, Assessments indicated that the Leopard 2's frontal armor could effectively resist 125 mm armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot (APF-SDS) rounds fired from a distance of 1,500 meters. The Leopard 2A4 model features armor with an estimated maximum thickness of 800 mm, as determined by unofficial measurements from former German Army personnel. Subsequent models, like the Leopard 2A5, enhance this protection with wedge-shaped armor modules that increase thickness to approximately 1,500 mm. The Leopard 2 also provides strong protection on its sides and rear, safeguarding against heavy machine guns, medium-caliber rounds, and older tank munitions. The sides of the hull are shielded by armor skirts to defend against projectiles and rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs. Specifically, the front third of the hull sides is protected by heavy ballistic skirts, while the remainder is covered by steel-reinforced rubber skirts. To bolster defense against mines, the sides of the hull floor are sloped at a 45-degree angle, and the floor itself is reinforced with corrugated structures. Secondary protection. The Leopard 2 tank is meticulously designed with a strong focus on compartmentation to enhance crew safety. One of the key principles behind its design is to isolate potential sources of fire or explosions away from the crew. For instance, in the turret, both the ammunition and the hydraulic systems are housed in separate compartments, distinct from the crew area. In the unfortunate event of an explosion, specially designed blow-off panels on the compartment roofs are intended to channel the blast and flames away from the crew, significantly reducing the risk of injury. To protect the crew from nuclear, biological, and chemical (NBC) threats, the Leopard 2 is equipped with a sophisticated Draeger NBC overpressurization system. This system maintains an internal pressure of up to 4 hectopascals, creating a protective barrier that ensures harmful agents do not enter the vehicle, keeping the crew safe even in contaminated environments. For battlefield concealment, the Leopard 2 is fitted with smoke mortar systems. Most Leopard 2 models feature two groups of 4 Wegmann 76mm smoke mortars on either side of the turret. These mortars can be fired either individually or in groups of 4, providing quick and effective smoke screens to obscure the tank's movements. However, there are variations in this system depending on the country of operation. For example, Dutch Leopard 2 tanks are equipped with a Dutch-designed smoke mortar system with 6 barrels on each side, while the Swedish Stridsvagn 122 utilizes French GALIX smoke dispensers, similar to those found on the French Leclerc tank. Fire protection within the Leopard 2 is another critical safety feature. The tank is equipped with 4 Halon fire extinguisher bottles, each weighing 9 kilograms, 20 pounds, positioned to the right behind the driver's station. These bottles are linked to an automatic fire detection system that activates when the internal temperature rises above 82 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees Fahrenheit, or they can be manually triggered via a control panel located in the driver's compartment. Additionally, a smaller 2.5 kilograms, 5.5 pounds, Halon fire extinguisher is stored beneath the main gun for immediate use in case of smaller fires. Armor upgrades. Since the Leopard 2's introduction in 1979, its armor has seen continuous enhancements to keep pace with evolving battlefield threats. The first significant upgrade came with the 97th vehicle of the 6th production batch, where a modified version of the tank's spaced multi-layer armor was introduced. This batch also featured an improved version of heavy ballistic skirts, increasing the vehicle's resilience against various forms of attack. The Leopard 2A5 model brought substantial advancements in armor protection. During the upgrade process to the 2A5 configuration, the tank's armor modules are upgraded by cutting open the roof and inserting new, more robust armor modules. These additional armor components, made from laminated materials, are mounted on the frontal arc of the turret, forming a distinctive arrowhead shape. This design improves the tank's defense against both kinetic energy penetrators and shaped charges, which are common threats on the modern battlefield. Enhanced side skirts further contribute to the tank's overall protection. Additionally, a 25mm thick spall liner is installed to reduce the risk of crew injuries should the armor be penetrated. The Leopard 2A7 represents the latest evolution in the tank's protective measures, featuring state-of-the-art passive armor and belly armor designed to withstand mines and improvised explosive devices, IEDs. This version also includes adapters that allow for the mounting of additional armor modules or protection systems specifically designed to counter rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs. For operations in urban environments, the Leopard 2 can be equipped with various modular armor packages. For instance, the Leopard 2 A4M can, Leopard 2 Paseo, peace support operations, and Leopard 2 A7 models can all be outfitted with thick composite armor modules along the flanks of the turret and hull. Slat armor can be attached to the rear of the vehicle, providing extra protection against RPGs, particularly the RPG-7, which can penetrate between 280 mm and 600 mm of steel armor depending on the warhead used. The Leopard 2 A6M can variant further enhances protection against RPGs by incorporating additional slat armor. Several companies have developed additional armor packages for the Leopard 2. For example, IBD Dysonroth has created upgrades utilizing Mexis and Advanced Modular Armor Protection (AMAP) composite armor, which are now in use on Leopard 2 tanks operated by Singapore and Indonesia. RUAG, another defense contractor, has introduced an armor upgrade featuring their Side Pro ATR composite armor, which was first showcased in 2013. In addition to these passive armor improvements, the Leopard 2 A4M and 2 A6M variants have been fitted with extra mine protection plates on the belly, further increasing their resistance to mines and IEDs. In a significant upgrade, the German Defense Ministry decided on February 22, 2021, to equip 17 Leopard 2 tanks with the Israeli-designed Trophy Active Protection System, a cutting-edge technology capable of intercepting incoming threats like RPGs and anti-tank missiles. The integration of Trophy into these tanks is scheduled for completion by 2023, marking a new chapter in the Leopard 2's evolution and its continued adaptation to modern warfare. Armor protection estimates. The Leopard 2's armor protection has been the subject of various estimates, reflecting the tank's evolving design over different models. For the Leopard 2 A4, the estimated protection levels range between 590 to 690 mm, 23 to 27 inches, of rolled homogeneous armor equivalent, RAE, on the turret. The glacis and lower front hull of this model are estimated to provide around 600 mm, 24 inches, of RAE protection against kinetic energy penetrators. The more advanced Leopard 2 A6 sees a significant enhancement in its defensive capabilities. The turret's estimated protection rises to approximately 920 to 940 mm, 36 to 37 inches, of RAE. Meanwhile, the glacis and lower front hull maintain a similar level of protection to the Leopard 2 A4, at about 620 mm, 24 inches, RAE against kinetic projectiles. Additionally, according to a description hosted by the Federation of American Scientists, the armor of the Leopard 2 A4 is believed to offer protection equivalent to 700 mm, 28 inches, of RA against kinetic energy penetrators. When facing shaped charge warheads, the Leopard 2 A4's armor is estimated to provide protection equivalent to 1,000 mm, 39 inches, of RA. These estimates highlight the robust protection the Leopard 2 offers, particularly against the most common battlefield threats of kinetic projectiles and shaped charges, reflecting its continuous evolution to meet modern combat challenges. Armament. Primary armament. The Leopard 2's primary weapon is the Rheinmetall 120 mm, 4.7 inches, smoothbore gun, a powerful and versatile armament that has become a standard in modern tanks. This gun is available in two main variants: the L44, which is found on all production Leopard 2 tanks up until the A5 model, and the longer L55, which has been installed on the Leopard 2 A6 and later versions. The L55 variant's longer barrel allows for greater muzzle velocity and improved penetration capabilities. The tank's ammunition is stored in two separate compartments. 27 rounds are kept in a magazine located in the forward section of the hull, next to the driver's station, while an additional 15 rounds are housed in the turret bustle on the left side. The turret ammunition storage is separated from the crew compartment by an electrically operated door, and in the event of a hit, blow-off panels in the turret roof are designed to direct any explosion upwards and away from the crew. However, the 27 rounds stored in the hull do not benefit from this protective feature, which could lead to catastrophic secondary explosions if the hull were penetrated, highlighting a vulnerability in the Leopard 2's design. The gun itself is fully stabilized, ensuring accuracy even while the tank is moving. It is capable of firing a variety of ammunition types, including the German 43 German Mark's armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot tracer (APFSDST) round, which can reportedly penetrate up to 450 mm 18 inches of steel armor at a range of 2,000 meters 2,200 yards. Another commonly used round is the 12 German Mark's high-explosive anti-tank heat round, effective against a range of targets. For the L-55 gun, the 53 German Mark's APFSDST round was introduced to take full advantage of the gun's longer barrel. This round is reputed to penetrate up to 750 mm 30 inches of ray armor at a distance of 2,000 meters 6,600 feet. The gun barrel is equipped with a bore evacuator and a thermal sleeve made of glass-reinforced plastic to manage barrel temperature, and it is chrome-lined to extend the barrel's lifespan. The main gun is capable of elevation from +20 degrees to -9 degrees, allowing for a wide range of firing angles. Additionally, Rheinmetall has developed an upgrade that enables the Leopard 2 to fire the Israeli Leopard anti-tank guided missile. This missile, which is fired through the main gun, can engage targets at distances of up to 6,000 meters 20,000 feet, significantly extending the tank's range and versatility in combat scenarios. Secondary armament. The Leopard 2 is equipped with 2 machine guns to complement its primary armament. The first is mounted coaxially with the main gun, allowing it to be fired in the same direction as the main armament. The second machine gun is positioned on an anti-aircraft mount, providing the tank with a means to engage low-flying aircraft or ground targets from an elevated position. Different national variants of the Leopard 2 utilize different machine guns. German models are equipped with the MG3, a 7.62 mm 0.3-inch machine gun. Dutch and Singaporean models use the FNMAG, also a 7.62 mm 0.3-inch machine gun. Swiss models are fitted with the Swiss MG87, which is slightly smaller at 7.5 mm 0.295 inches. The tank carries a total of 4,750 rounds of machine gun ammunition. Out of this, 2,000 rounds are specifically allocated for the coaxial machine gun, ensuring sustained fire during prolonged engagements. In more recent Leopard 2 variants, such as the Leopard 2A7+, there is an option to mount a remotely controlled weapon station, RCWS, near the commander's hatch. This RCWS can be fitted with a Browning M2HB heavy machine gun, offering greater firepower and flexibility. The RCWS allows the commander to engage targets from within the safety of the tank, minimizing exposure to enemy fire. Fire control system. The Leopard 2 is equipped with an advanced fire control system, known as the German EMES-15. This system features a stabilized primary sight with dual magnification, allowing the gunner to maintain a clear view of the target even while the tank is on the move. The primary sight is integrated with a neodymium yttrium aluminium garnet (ND) laser rangefinder and a 120-element mercury cadmium telluride (HGCDTE), also known as CMT, Zeiss thermographic camera. These components are directly linked to the tank's fire control computer, enabling precise targeting. For backup, the gunner has access to an 8x auxiliary telescope, the Faro Z18, which is mounted coaxially with the main gun. This serves as an essential fallback in case the primary system fails. The tank commander benefits from an independent periscope, the Rheinmetall Zeiss Perry R17A2. This periscope is a stabilized panoramic sight designed for both day and night operations. It provides the commander with a 360-degree view, crucial for situational awareness and target identification. The thermal image from this periscope is displayed on a monitor inside the tank, allowing the commander to track and identify targets independently from the gunner. Initially, the Leopard 2's production models were not equipped with a thermal sight due to delays in development. Instead, they were fitted with the PZB-200 low-light TV system, LLLTV, as a temporary measure. The Leopard 2's fire control system is highly sophisticated, capable of providing up to 3 range values in just 4 seconds. This range data is then transmitted to the fire control computer, which calculates the optimal firing solution. The laser rangefinder, integrated into the gunner's primary sight, offers a maximum range of up to 10,000 meters, 33,000 feet, with an accuracy of within 10 meters, 33 feet, at this range. This system allows the Leopard 2 to effectively engage moving targets at distances of up to 5,000 meters, 16,000 feet, even while the tank itself is moving over rough terrain. Propulsion. The Leopard 2 is powered by the MTU-MB 873 Ka-501 engine, a robust and reliable power source. This engine is a V12 configuration, offering 1,500 PS, approximately 1.1 megawatts, at 2,600 RPM and an impressive torque of 4,700 N.operator-m, about 3,500 pound-feet, at 1,600 to 1,700 RPM. It's a 4-stroke, 47.7-liter, 90-degree V-block engine, equipped with twin turbochargers and intercoolers. Notably, it is liquid-cooled and designed to run on multiple fuel types, making it versatile in various operational environments. Fuel consumption for the Leopard 2 is estimated at around 300 liters per 100 kilometers when driving on roads and 500 liters per 100 kilometers in off-road conditions. This power plant is paired with the Renk HSWL 354 gear and brake system, which is fully automatic and offers 4 forward and 2 reverse gears. The transmission includes a torque converter, allowing the driver to easily select the appropriate range. The Leopard 2's fuel system is comprised of 4 tanks with a total capacity of approximately 1,160 liters, 260 imperial gallons, 310 US gallons, giving it a road range of around 500 kilometers, 310 miles. This propulsion system enables the tank to reach a top road speed of 68 kilometers per hour, 42 miles per hour, though it is typically limited to 50 kilometers per hour, 31 miles per hour, during peacetime. In reverse, the Leopard 2 can achieve speeds up to 31 kilometers per hour, 19 miles per hour. Remarkably, the entire power pack can be replaced in the field within just 35 minutes, showcasing its efficiency and ease of maintenance. The engine and transmission are securely separated from the crew compartment by a fireproof bulkhead, enhancing crew safety. The Leopard 2 has also trialed an upgraded version of the Euro Power Pack, featuring a 1,650 PS, 1.2 megawatts MTU-MT 883 engine, offering even greater power. The tank suspension system is based on a torsion bar design, supported by advanced friction dampers. Its running gear includes 7 dual rubber-tired road wheels and 4 return rollers on each side, with an idler wheel at the front and a drive sprocket at the rear. The tracks used are Diehl 570F, featuring rubber-bushed end connectors and removable rubber pads. Each track uses 82 links, and for icy conditions, up to 18 rubber pads can be swapped out with grousers, which are stored in the vehicle's bow when not in use. One of the Leopard 2's standout features is its mobility. It can ford water up to 4 meters, 13 feet, deep with the aid of a snorkel, or 1.2 meters, 3 feet 11 inches, without any preparation. The tank is also capable of climbing vertical obstacles over 1 meter, 3.3 feet, high. Mobility has been a key focus for the German Army, making the Leopard 2 one of the fastest main battle tanks, MBTs, in the world. Ukrainian forces have reported that the Leopard 2 is notably quiet, comparable to the noise level of a diesel van. This reduced noise profile provides a tactical advantage in ambush situations, as the tank is only heard from about 200 meters, 660 feet, away, compared to 2 to 3 kilometers, 1.2 to 1.9 miles, for older Soviet-era tanks. Exports. Germany initially fielded approximately 2,125 Leopard 2 main battle tanks across various versions. However, following German reunification, A significant number of these tanks were sold off, particularly during the 1990s when the German army was downsizing. This made the Leopard 2 widely available at reduced prices, contributing to its popularity across Europe. Its success was such that it earned the nickname Euro Leopard, despite other major European countries like France, Britain, and Italy operating their own main battle tanks. As the Leopard 2 continued to gain traction outside Europe, especially with new orders from non-European countries, it has come to be referred to as the Global Leopard. This reflects its widespread adoption and the international demand for the platform. The export of Leopard 2 tanks has always been closely controlled by the German government, which retains the authority over the tank's export license. This means that even when Leopard 2 tanks are resold by the original export customers, they can only do so with the consent of the German government. Additionally, while some countries have purchased surplus Leopard 2 tanks, others have opted to buy newly manufactured vehicles or produce them locally under license, further extending the tank's global footprint. Europe. Netherlands. The Netherlands became the first export customer of the Leopard 2 when they ordered 445 tanks on March 2, 1979, after evaluating the Leopard 2nd Avenue in the United States. Deliveries took place between July 1981 and July 1986. Some of these tanks were later exported to Austria, Canada, Norway, and Portugal. The tanks that remained in Dutch service have since been upgraded to the 2A5 and 2A6 standards. Switzerland. The Swiss Army chose the Leopard 2 over the M1 Abrams after conducting trials from August 1981 to June 1982. The decision to purchase was made in August 1983, with the Swiss government approving funding in 1984. Krauss-Maffei delivered 35 tanks by June 1987, and another 345 were produced under license by Eidgenössische Konstruktionswerkstatt Thun starting in December 1987. Sweden. After exploring a locally developed replacement for the STRV 103 tank, Sweden opted to buy a foreign tank model. The Leopard 2 Improved, a prototype of the Leopard 2A5, won against the M1 Abrams and the French Leclerc in competitive trials conducted from January to June 1994. Sweden placed an order for 120 modified Leopard 2A5 tanks, designated as Stridsvagn 122, STRV 122, in Swedish service. The STRV 122 was enhanced with Swedish-developed applique armor, a new command system, and upgraded electronics. Delivery began in December 1996, with 29 tanks manufactured in Germany and 91 in Sweden by Bofors and Hägglunds. In addition to the STRV 122, Sweden leased and later purchased 160 Leopard 2A4 tanks, known as Stridsvagn 121, STRV 121, in 1994 and 1995. Although the STRV 121 fleet was mothballed by 2006, some have been converted into engineering vehicles and bridge layers. Denmark. Denmark purchased 51 ex-German Leopard 2A4 tanks after the Danish military school, Herrens Kampskole, recommended basing their new tank adoption on the Swedish Army trials. The first tanks were delivered in 1998, and by the following year, an upgrade to the Leopard 2A5 standard was already planned. Between 2004 and 2006, the Danish Army acquired an additional 6 ex-German Leopard 2 tanks. Greece. In 1998, Greece held a competition to select a new main battle tank for the Hellenic Army. The Leopard 2 Improved outperformed competitors such as the Challenger 2E, Leclerc, M1 Abrams, T-80U, and T-84, leading to an order of 170 Leopard 2 tanks in March 2003, with 140 assembled locally. Greece also purchased 183 Leopard 2A4 tanks and 150 Leopard 1 tanks. Spain. Spain initially leased 109 Leopard 2A4 tanks after Krauss-Maffei withdrew from the Linz development, a special lighter version of the Leopard 2 developed with Santa Barbara Systems. After rejecting the M1 Abrams and the Vickers Valiant, Spain decided to purchase the leased tanks and acquired the license to locally produce 219 Leopard 2A6 tanks. Poland. Poland received 128 Leopard 2A4 tanks from German army stocks in 2002 and ordered an additional 119 ex-German Leopard 2s in 2013. Finland bought 124 used Leopard 2A4 tanks and 6 armored bridge layer Leopard 2L tanks from Germany in 2002 and 2003, replacing older Soviet-made T-55 and T-72 M1 tanks. Hungary. In December 2018, Hungary ordered 44 Leopard 2A7+S and 12 second-hand 2A4S. These are expected to replace Hungary's T-72 tanks, with delivery no sooner than 2020. Norway. In February 2023, Norway announced an order for 54 new Leopard 2A7 tanks, with an option for 18 more, to replace its aging Leopard 2A4 fleet. The tanks, designated Leopard 2A8NOR, are expected to be operational by 2031, with deliveries starting by 2026. Beyond Europe. Turkey. In 2005, Turkey purchased 298 Leopard 2 tanks from German army stocks. The Leopard 2 was selected after rigorous trials conducted by the Turkish army in 2000, where it outperformed competitors such as the T-84 Yataghan, Leclerc, and a variant of the M1 Abrams equipped with a German MTU diesel engine. Although Turkey had expressed interest in buying 1,000 Leopard 2 tanks in 1999, the deal was initially rejected by the German government. Singapore. Singapore acquired 96 Leopard 2 tanks from Germany in 2006. These tanks bolstered Singapore's armored capabilities, marking a significant upgrade from the nation's previous tank fleet. Chile. In 2007, Chile purchased 172 ex-German Leopard 2A4 tanks and 273 Marder 1A3 infantry fighting vehicles, IFVs. This acquisition was part of Chile's effort to modernize its military equipment. Indonesia. Indonesia ordered 103 Leopard 2 tanks and 42 Marder 1A3 IFVs in 2013. Initially, the German government was hesitant to approve the export of heavy weapons to Indonesia due to concerns over the country's human rights record. However, the deal eventually proceeded, and 61 of the Leopard 2 tanks are set to be upgraded by Rheinmetall to the Leopard 2 RI standard, incorporating Rheinmetall's Revolution modular upgrade concept. Qatar. Qatar ordered 62 Leopard 2A7 tanks and 24 Panzerhaubitze 2000 self-propelled howitzers in 2013. The delivery of these advanced tanks began in late 2015, with the first units showcased during a military parade in December of that year. Transfer to Ukraine. Leopard 2A4 tanks delivered to Ukraine. On the 2nd of July 2023, it was reported that Ukraine had received 54 Leopard 2A4 tanks from NATO member countries. This transfer was part of ongoing military support to strengthen Ukraine's defenses amidst its ongoing conflict. Political discussions on Leopard 2 transfers to Ukraine. Background. Since April 2022, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Ukrainian government has actively requested Western-made main battle tanks from its allies. Countries like Poland, Finland, and others expressed willingness to provide Leopard 2 tanks from their own inventories, with approximately 100 tanks potentially available for transfer to Ukraine. Germany's role. When Germany initially exported these tanks, it included a condition that any re-export would require approval from the German government, as per the Kriegswaffenkontrollgesetz and Außenwirtschaftsgesetz. Until the 22nd of January 2023, it remained unclear whether Germany would grant such consent, as the German government was cautious about being perceived as escalating the conflict or being labeled an aggressor. Germany was also seeking a commitment from the United States to supply M1 Abrams tanks as part of a coordinated effort before it agreed to send Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. NATO and allies discussions. The issue of transferring Leopard 2 tanks was discussed at a NATO defense ministers conference, but no consensus was reached. Germany's hesitancy was criticized by other European governments, with Poland even threatening to send its Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine unilaterally if Berlin did not grant permission. In response, Poland and Ukraine announced that Ukrainian soldiers would begin training on Leopard 2 tanks in Poland, signaling their intent to proceed with or without Germany's formal approval. Germany's shift in position. On the 22nd of January 2023, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock stated that Germany would not block Poland from sending its Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine, although no official request had been made at that time. 2 days later, Poland formally requested permission from Germany to transfer its Leopard 2 tanks. Official decision. On the 24th of January 2023, it was reported that German Chancellor Olaf Scholz would announce Germany's decision to transfer a number of Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine, starting with 14 Leopard 2 A6s from the Bundeswehr's active inventory. This decision was confirmed the following day, along with permission for other countries to re-export their Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius also encouraged other Leopard operating countries to begin training Ukrainian soldiers on the tanks. Coordination with the U.S. Germany's decision was closely linked to the U.S. agreeing to provide M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, a move that was initially opposed by the Pentagon but ultimately accepted as part of a coordinated effort among NATO allies. Challenges in implementation. Despite Germany's change in position, there were frustrations expressed by Boris Pistorius regarding the slow pace of Allied nations' announcements to donate Leopard 2 tanks. By mid-February 2023, only Poland had matched Germany's pledge to provide 14 tanks, highlighting the challenges in rallying broad-based support for the transfer of Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Germany's contribution to Ukraine. Leopard 2 A6 tanks. Initial commitment. On the 25th of January 2023, the German government confirmed its decision to supply Ukraine with 14 Leopard 2 A6 tanks, a number that represents a company strength unit. Along with this, Germany granted authorization for its European partners to re-export their Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. The collective goal was for European operators of the Leopard 2 to provide Ukraine with 2 battalions, totaling 88 tanks. Training and preparation. The delivery of these tanks to Ukraine was contingent upon the training of Ukrainian service personnel, a process expected to take up to 3 months. Some of the tanks designated for Ukraine were held by the Bundeswehr, while others were in the possession of Rheinmetall, the manufacturer of the Leopard tanks. Rheinmetall indicated that while some tanks could be ready for dispatch by March 2023, others, which had been in long-term storage, would require extensive refurbishment and updates to make them combat-ready. Timeline and expansion. On the 26th of January 2023, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius announced that the tanks were expected to be delivered in late March or early April. On the 24th of February 2023, the German Department of Defense confirmed that Germany would increase its contribution from 14 to 18 Leopard 2 A6 tanks, which, along with contributions from Portugal and Sweden, would provide Ukraine with a full tank battalion. Delivery and additional support. On the 27th of March 2023, Germany successfully delivered 18 Leopard 2 A6 tanks to Ukraine, along with 2 armored recovery vehicles and the necessary spare parts. The following day, the Swiss National Council Security Board recommended that 25 Leopard 2 tanks in storage should be sold to the German manufacturer Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann. This would allow Germany to replenish some of its own tanks that had been sent to Ukraine. At that time, Switzerland had 96 Leopard 2 tanks in storage. Swiss contribution. On the 27th of September 2023, the Swiss Parliament voted to decommission 25 Leopard 2 tanks, permitting their sale back to Germany. However, Germany assured Switzerland that these ex-Swiss tanks would not be sent to Ukraine. This coordinated effort reflects Germany's significant role in supporting Ukraine by providing advanced military equipment, while also involving broader European cooperation to meet the needs of the ongoing conflict. Poland's contribution. Leopard 2 tanks for Ukraine. Support for Ukraine. Poland swiftly welcomed Germany's decision to permit the transfer of Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. On the 25th of January 2023, the Polish government announced its intention to transfer 14 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine from its own stock of 247 tanks. In addition to these Leopard 2 tanks, Poland also committed to sending a further 50 to 60 Soviet-era tanks to support Ukraine's defense efforts. First delivery. On the 24th of February 2023, Poland delivered the first 4 Leopard 2A4 tanks from its stock to Ukraine. These were the first Leopard 2 tanks to be operated by Ukrainian forces, marking a significant step in bolstering Ukraine's military capabilities amidst the ongoing conflict. Poland's prompt action and substantial contribution of both Western and Soviet-era tanks underscore its commitment to supporting Ukraine in its defense against external aggression. Canada's contribution: Leopard 2 tanks for Ukraine. Initial commitment. On the 26th of January 2023, Canadian Defence Minister Anita Anand announced that Canada would send 4 Leopard 2A4 tanks to Ukraine, with the possibility of additional tanks to follow. These tanks were described as combat-ready and were part of Canada's effort to support Ukraine's defense. In addition to the tanks, Canada committed to providing the necessary training for Ukrainian forces who would operate these vehicles. Training and additional support. The first Canadian Leopard 2 tanks arrived in Poland on the 5th of February 2023, enabling Ukrainian troops to begin their training promptly. This early arrival was crucial in ensuring that Ukrainian forces could become proficient in using these advanced tanks in the field. Further assistance. On the 24th of February 2023, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced an increased commitment from Canada, with an additional 4 Leopard 2A4 tanks being sent to Ukraine. Alongside these tanks, Canada also provided 1 armored recovery vehicle, ARV, and 5,000 rounds of ammunition, further bolstering Ukraine's military capabilities. Canada's consistent and increasing support highlights its strong commitment to aiding Ukraine in its ongoing conflict by providing not only the necessary equipment but also the training required to effectively utilize it. Czech Republic stance on Leopard 2 transfers to Ukraine. Clarification on Leopard 2 transfers. On the 20th of January 2023, the Czech Defense Ministry officially refuted media reports suggesting that the Czech Republic and Slovakia were prepared to donate their Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. The ministry emphasized that these reports were unfounded and that rumors about the Czech Republic receiving American Abrams tanks in exchange for Leopard 2 tanks were also incorrect. Current status of Leopard 2 tanks. As of December 2022, both the Czech Republic and Slovakia had only received 1 Leopard 2A4 each from Rheinmetall. These tanks were part of Germany's Ringtausch program, which facilitated the exchange of Soviet-era equipment sent to Ukraine for more modern Western tanks. The remaining Leopard 2A4 tanks allocated to these countries are still undergoing refurbishment, with deliveries expected to be completed throughout 2023. The Czech Republic's clarification highlights its current position regarding the transfer of Leopard 2 tanks and underlines the ongoing process of upgrading its own military capabilities through the Ringtausch program. Denmark's contribution and Leopard 2 tank status. Initial reports and government stance. International reports suggested that Denmark might contribute a number of its Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. However, there was no official confirmation from the Danish government regarding the transfer of any Danish Leopard 2s. Denmark's inventory includes 44 tanks, of which 14 were deployed to Estonia as part of NATO's Enhanced Forward Presence, EFP. A portion of the remaining tanks was undergoing upgrades at German manufacturers. Political support and challenges. Some opposition politicians in Denmark expressed support for transferring Danish tanks to Ukraine. However, the Danish Leopard 2 tanks are of the newer 2A7 standard, which would present logistical and mechanical challenges if deployed to Ukraine, as they differ from the older variants considered by other countries. Alternative contributions. On the 7th of February 2023, Denmark, along with Germany and the Netherlands, announced the joint purchase of 100 to 178 Leopard 1A5 tanks for Ukraine. Later, on the 20th of April 2023, Denmark and the Netherlands further committed to jointly financing the purchase and refurbishment of 14 Leopard 2A4 tanks from private industry stocks for Ukraine. This approach allows Denmark to contribute to Ukraine's defense efforts while avoiding the logistical complications of deploying its more advanced Leopard 2A7 tanks. Finland's contribution of Leopard 2 tanks. Initial considerations. Prior to Germany's decision on re-exporting Leopard 2 tanks, Finland had indicated a willingness to supply Ukraine with a limited number of these tanks. Finnish President Sauli Niinisto, however, cautioned that Finland's contribution would be small due to its shared border with Russia and its then non-NATO status. First announcement. On the 23rd of February 2023, Finland announced that it would donate 3 of its 6 Leopard 2R breaching tanks to Ukraine. These specialized tanks are designed for engineering tasks such as clearing mines and obstacles, making them valuable assets for Ukrainian forces in combat scenarios. Further commitment. A month later, Finland confirmed the donation of its remaining 3 Leopard 2R tanks, bringing the total number of tanks contributed by Finland to 6. This decision underscores Finland's commitment to supporting Ukraine while balancing its own national security needs. Greece's position on supplying Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Initial reports. On the 25th of January 2023, reports emerged that Greece was among the countries indicating a willingness to supply Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. By the 29th of January, further reports suggested that Greece might provide approximately 14 Leopard 2 tanks, although there was ambiguity about whether these would be the older 2A4 variant or the more modern 2A6 HEL variant. Clarification and reversal. However, just days later, on the 31st of January, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis publicly stated that Greece would not supply any Leopard tanks to Ukraine. He emphasized that these tanks were absolutely necessary for our defense posture, particularly given Greece's unique security needs and regional tensions. Conflicting information. Despite the Prime Minister's statement, leaked Pentagon documents later suggested that Greece was preparing to donate 5 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Nevertheless, Greek Defense Minister Nikolaos Paniatopoulos reaffirmed the government's stance against sending tanks to Ukraine in April 2023, leaving the potential delivery of these tanks uncertain and shrouded in controversy. Netherlands' contribution to Ukraine's tank needs. Initial considerations. The Netherlands was actively considering Ukraine's requests for Leopard 2 tanks. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte mentioned that the government was exploring options, including purchasing tanks from other countries to donate to Ukraine. Discussions also took place regarding the possibility of the Netherlands buying the 18 Leopard 2A6 tanks they lease from Germany. Operational constraints. While Germany did not refuse to sell these leased tanks, no formal request was made by the Netherlands to purchase them. Both countries acknowledged that these tanks were essential for the operations of their joint German-Dutch military unit, making their immediate transfer to Ukraine complicated. Alternative contributions. Despite not sending tanks directly, the Netherlands committed to supporting the initiative by supplying ammunition for the Leopard tanks. They also did not rule out future contributions to the tank initiative and were involved in efforts to purchase Leopard 1A5 tanks in collaboration with Denmark and Germany. Joint financing for Ukraine. The Netherlands later confirmed it was jointly financing, alongside Denmark, the purchase and refurbishment of 14 Leopard 2A4 tanks from private industry stocks. These tanks are expected to be delivered to Ukraine in early 2024, marking a significant contribution to Ukraine's defense capabilities. Norway's support for Ukraine with Leopard tanks. Initial pledge. On the 25th of January 2023, Norway committed to donating spare Leopard tanks to Ukraine. Although initial reports speculated that between 4 and 8 of Norway's 36 Leopard 2A4 tanks would be sent, Norwegian Defense Minister Bjorn Arild Gram confirmed Norway's participation in the tank donation effort but did not initially specify the number of tanks to be provided. Final contribution. On the 14th of February 2023, Minister Gram announced that Norway would send 8 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine, along with 4 Leopard 1-derived special-purpose vehicles. These vehicles included a mix of 3 New Mexico 189 armored engineering vehicles, AEVs, and 1 New Mexico 217 Armored Recovery Vehicle, ARV, providing Ukraine with both combat and support capabilities. Future procurement. In anticipation of this donation and to maintain its own military strength, Norway placed an order for 54 new Leopard 2A7 tanks, which was later updated to the 2A8 variant. These new tanks are scheduled to be delivered starting in 2026, with an option to acquire an additional 18 vehicles if needed. This donation reflects Norway's commitment to supporting Ukraine while also planning for its own future defense needs. Portugal's contribution to Ukraine with Leopard 2 tanks. Initial reports in preparation. Following the German government's decision to allow the re-export of Leopard 2 tanks, reports emerged that Portugal was preparing to send 4 of their Leopard 2A6 tanks to Ukraine. On the 4th of February 2023, Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa confirmed the intention to send Leopard tanks to Ukraine but did not specify the exact number at that time. Portugal faced challenges in this endeavor, as many of the 37 Leopard 2 tanks in its inventory were reportedly inoperable. The Portuguese government worked closely with Germany to secure the necessary parts to repair these tanks and make them combat-ready. Final donation. By the 14th of February 2023, it was reported that Portugal had earmarked 3 Leopard 2A6 tanks for donation to Ukraine. These 3 tanks were successfully delivered on the 27th of March 2023, alongside 18 Leopard 2A6 tanks provided by Germany. This contribution was part of a broader European effort to strengthen Ukraine's defensive capabilities amid the ongoing conflict. Portugal's involvement underscores the collaborative efforts of European nations to support Ukraine, even when facing logistical and operational challenges within their own military inventories. Slovakia's position on tank transfers to Ukraine. Initial stance on Leopard 2A4 tanks. On the 25th of January 2023, Slovakia announced that it would not be transferring any of its Leopard 2A4 tanks to Ukraine. The primary reason for this decision was that Slovakia had only received 1 out of the 15 Leopard tanks it was promised under Germany's Ringtausch program. This program was part of an exchange deal where Slovakia supplied Ukraine with 30 Soviet-era infantry fighting vehicles, and in return, Germany was to provide Slovakia with Leopard 2A4 tanks. Offer of T-72 tanks. While Slovakia declined to send its Leopard tanks, it expressed willingness to provide T-72 tanks to Ukraine, contingent on receiving replacements from other allies. Slovakia's decision highlights the challenges faced by countries balancing their own defense needs while supporting Ukraine amid ongoing regional tensions. This stance reflects Slovakia's cautious approach to maintaining its own defense capabilities while still contributing to the collective support for Ukraine among European nations. Spain's involvement in Leopard 2 transfers to Ukraine. Initial consideration of Leopard 2A4 transfers. On the 4th of June 2022, reports surfaced that Spain was considering providing 40 of its 53 retired Leopard 2A4 tanks, which were stored in Zaragoza, to Ukraine. However, just a few days later, on the 8th of June, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz stated that Germany had not received any formal request from Spain for an export permit to transfer these tanks to Ukraine. Despite this, on the 10th of June, Spain's defense minister confirmed that the Spanish government was indeed considering the transfer of these tanks. Germany's block on the transfer. On the 12th of June, anonymous sources revealed that the German government had blocked Spain's potential transfer of Leopard tanks to Ukraine. The Scholz administration argued that such a move would represent a significant shift from an informal NATO decision not to provide Western tanks to Ukraine at that time. Backtracking on the decision. By the 2nd of August, Spain officially retracted its offer to send the Leopard 2A4 tanks, citing the deplorable condition of the tanks stored in Zaragoza as the reason for the decision. The Spanish government indicated that the tanks were not fit for combat and thus could not be sent to Ukraine. Renewed consideration in 2023. In January 2023, following a meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group, it was reported that Spain was reconsidering sending an unconfirmed number of its Leopard 2E tanks to Ukraine. On the 14th of February, Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles confirmed that Spain was providing training to 55 Ukrainian tank crew members and technicians on the Leopard 2. Preparation of Leopard 2A4 tanks for Ukraine. By the 22nd of February, Robles confirmed that Spain was preparing 6 Leopard 2A4 tanks for delivery to Ukraine, with the goal of shipping them by late March or early April. On the 5th of February, it was reported that 11 of the 53 tanks stored in Zaragoza had been taken out of storage for refurbishment and upgrades. These upgrades were intended to bring the tanks to a level of lethality comparable to modern Leopard 2 versions. 5 tanks were sent to the Santa Barbara Sistemas plant in Alcalá de Guadalajara, and 6 to Seville for diagnostics and repairs. However, it remained unclear whether Spain would supply ammunition with the tanks, as Spain reportedly only had 9 rounds for each of its Leopard 2E tanks. Confirmation of tank delivery. On the 23rd of February, During a visit to Kyiv, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez confirmed that Spain would be sending at least 10 Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. This decision marked Spain's formal commitment to supporting Ukraine with these battle tanks. Sweden's contribution of Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Initial consideration. In January 2023, Sweden began considering requests from Ukraine for Leopard 2 tanks. While Sweden did not immediately commit to sending its tanks, the possibility of contributing its STRV-122 tanks, a Swedish variant of the Leopard 2, was not ruled out for the future. Official announcement. On the 24th of February 2023, Swedish Defense Minister Pål Jonson announced that Sweden would provide 10 STRV-122 tanks to Ukraine. This decision marked Sweden's formal commitment to supporting Ukraine with its advanced main battle tanks, adding significant capability to Ukraine's armored forces. The STRV-122, being an upgraded version of the Leopard 2A5, offers enhanced armor and other modifications tailored to Swedish requirements, making it a highly capable addition to Ukraine's defense arsenal. Combat history. KFOR deployment. Initial deployment. On the 12th of June 1999, the German army deployed 28 Leopard 2A5 tanks to Kosovo as part of the NATO-led Kosovo Force, KFOR, peacekeeping mission. These tanks were part of Panzer Battalion 33 and 214 and were transported from North Macedonia to Prizren. Their primary roles included patrolling, securing checkpoints, protecting bases, and demonstrating a strong presence to maintain order in the region. Engagements and incidents. During their deployment, the Leopard 2A5s were involved in a few notable incidents. On the 13th of June 1999, a checkpoint in Prizren came under fire from two Serbian paramilitary members inside a Fiat 125P car. The paramilitaries were neutralized by return fire from German forces, although the nearby Leopard 2A5, which was only partially crewed at the time, did not engage in the firefight. Later, on the 26th of June 1999, a Leopard 2A5 fired 4 warning shots above the town of Orahovac as a show of force. This incident highlighted the tank's role in maintaining stability and order during the tense post-conflict period. Model replacement. By late 2000 to early 2001, the Leopard 2A5 tanks were replaced by the older Leopard 2A4 models. These tanks continued to serve in the region, particularly in North Macedonia, as part of NATO's intervention efforts. The Leopard 2A4s were tasked with securing Bundeswehr logistic sites until their eventual return to Germany in 2004. During their time in the region, they were stationed at the Austrian-Swiss camp, Casablanca, ensuring the protection of key military assets and contributing to the overall peacekeeping mission. Combat history. EVOR, SFOR deployment. Dutch deployment. During the NATO-led EVOR, Implementation Force, and SFOR, Stabilization Force, missions in Bosnia-Herzegovina, the Dutch contingent operated Leopard 2 tanks as part of their peacekeeping responsibilities. Both Leopard 2A4 and Leopard 2A5 models were deployed by the Netherlands to various strategic locations across the region. Stationing of forces. The Dutch Leopard 2 tanks were stationed at several key bases including Bugojno, Novi Travnik, Sisava, Neževo, Maslovac, and Suika. These locations were crucial for maintaining peace and security in the area, especially in the aftermath of the Bosnian War. The presence of these advanced tanks provided significant support to the NATO forces, helping to enforce the peace agreements and stabilize the region. The deployment of Leopard 2 tanks by the Dutch forces in Bosnia-Herzegovina under EVOR and SFOR missions exemplified NATO's commitment to maintaining peace and security in the volatile post-war environment. ISAF-OEF deployment of Leopard 2 tanks. In October 2003, Canada considered replacing its aging Leopard C2 tanks with wheeled Striker mobile gun systems. However, the harsh realities of combat in Afghanistan, especially during Operation Medusa, made it clear to the Canadian military that tanks were still vital assets on the battlefield. As a result, in December 2006, Canada deployed its nearly 30-year-old Leopard C2s to Kandahar. Recognizing that these tanks were nearing the end of their service life, the Canadian government quickly arranged to borrow 20 Leopard 2A6s and 3 armored recovery vehicles from Germany for rapid deployment to Afghanistan. By August 2007, the first of these Leopard 2s were airlifted into the country to equip Lord Strathcona's Horse Royal Canadians Regiment. On the 2nd of November 2007, during an assault, a Leopard 2A6M struck an improvised explosive device, IED, but emerged without casualties, demonstrating the effectiveness of its advanced mine protection. A Canadian officer later reported, "My crew stumbled upon an IED and made history as the first to test the M packet. It worked as it should." The tank was quickly repaired and returned to service, as confirmed by Canadian Chief of Defence Staff General Rick Hillier, who emphasized that the Taliban learned harsh lessons when they encountered these new tanks. In October 2007, Denmark joined the effort by deploying Leopard 2A5 DKs to southern Afghanistan. The Jedski Dragon Regiment sent a tank unit equipped with 3 Leopard 2A5 tanks, 1 M113 armored personnel carrier, and an armored recovery vehicle. Danish Leopards were outfitted with Swedish Barracuda camouflage mats to reduce heat absorption and their infrared signature. Unlike the Canadian version, which had a mine-resistant, dynamic safety seat, the Danish tanks retained a conventional driver's seat. Danish Leopard 2s played a critical role in January 2008 when they halted a Taliban flanking maneuver near the Helmand River by providing crucial fire support from elevated positions. On the 26th of February 2008, a Danish Leopard 2 hit an explosive device, damaging one track, but the tank safely returned to base. Unfortunately, on the 25th of July 2008, a Danish Leopard 2A5 struck an IED in Helmand province, resulting in the first fatality among Leopard 2 crews in Afghanistan. The driver was killed, while 3 other crew members survived the blast. Starting on the 7th of December 2008, Leopard 2 tanks were integral to Operation Red Dagger, supporting coalition forces in retaking the Nad Ali district. The British Ministry of Defence praised the Leopard 2 for its precision and mobility, crediting it as a decisive factor in the operation's success, with the tanks firing 31 rounds during the assault. The deployment of Leopard 2 tanks in Afghanistan underscored their durability, advanced protection systems, and essential role in modern armored warfare, proving to be invaluable assets in NATO's operations. Turkish intervention in Syria, Operation Euphrates Shield and Leopard 2A4 deployment. Turkey, operating 354 Leopard 2A4 tanks, initially used other tanks like upgraded M60s in its military operations during the Syrian civil war. However, in December 2016, Turkey deployed several Leopard 2A4 tanks as part of Operation Euphrates Shield against the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIS. Unfortunately, these tanks faced significant challenges in the conflict. Early on, 3 Turkish Leopard 2A4s were either destroyed or severely damaged by anti-tank guided missile systems, such as Fago or Concors, which ISIS likely obtained from captured Syrian or Iraqi army stocks. In mid-December 2016, ISIS managed to capture 2 Leopard 2A4 tanks near Al-Bab, a city in Syria, during the operation. The group's Amaq news agency released videos purportedly showing these captured tanks. By late December, reports indicated that ISIS had captured or incapacitated 10 Leopard 2A4s, which were damaged by a combination of anti-tank weapons, improvised explosive devices, IEDs, and possibly other factors. Additional propaganda from ISIS in January 2017 showed several Leopards completely destroyed, with some tanks having their turrets blown off. This catastrophic damage was partly attributed to the Leopard 2A4's design flaw, where only 15 rounds are stored in blowout panel compartments, while 27 rounds are stored in a more vulnerable position in the forward section of the hull. This flaw led to secondary explosions when the hull was hit. While some tanks that suffered severe damage may have been destroyed by airstrikes to prevent their capture, most sources agree that the damage was caused by ISIS's anti-tank missiles or suicide car bombs. Reports from the German newspaper Die Welt in January 2017 indicated that ISIS used 9 M133 Kornet anti-tank missiles to destroy 6 Leopard 2 tanks used by the Turkish military. Overall, Photographic evidence suggests that at least 8 Leopard 2 main battle tanks were destroyed during this operation. Turkey also used Leopard 2A4 tanks during its military operation in Afrin, confirming their deployment to the German government. These tanks, originally designed during the Cold War to combat Soviet tanks, were not optimized for counterinsurgency operations against guerrillas, where the primary threats are IEDs and anti-tank missiles. There were reports that the Turkish purchase of Leopard 2A4s from Germany included conditions restricting their use against Kurdish forces. Before 2016, these tanks were stationed in northern Turkey. When it became clear to the German government that the tanks were being used against Kurdish groups, Germany halted planned upgrades intended to enhance the tanks' resistance to explosives. Consequently, Turkey had to upgrade its Leopard 2A4s domestically, potentially replacing the original turret with one from the Turkish Altay main battle tank. Russo-Ukrainian War, deployment and combat performance of Leopard 2 tanks. In April 2023, during a training session for a Ukrainian crew, a Leopard 2A4 tank suffered significant damage when its turret was completely dislodged from the hull. Despite the severity of the incident, the crew members were reported to be unharmed. Later, in July 2023, one Leopard 2A4 was modified to carry KONTAKT-1 explosive reactive armor, ERA, on the sides of the hull and turret. This tank was also outfitted with rubber screens attached to the turret and gun mantle, indicating efforts to enhance its defensive capabilities in the ongoing conflict. Ukraine began deploying Leopard 2 tanks in the Russo-Ukrainian War against Russia starting in June 2023, particularly in preparation for their 2023 counteroffensive. On the 8th of June 2023, during Ukrainian attacks in Zaporizhia Oblast, a Russian artillery strike targeted a Ukrainian vehicle column near Novopokrovka, resulting in the destruction of at least one Leopard 2A4 tank. Additional Russian drone footage from the same period showed damage or destruction to 4 Leopard 2A6 tanks and 3 Leopard 2 Rupees south of the road near Mala Tokmachka. By the 28th of August 2023, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu claimed that Russian forces had destroyed or damaged all 16 Leopard 2A4 tanks supplied to Ukraine by Poland and Portugal. This statement underscored the intense combat environment and the challenges faced by Ukrainian forces operating these tanks. On the 30th of October 2023, a video surfaced showing a Stridsvagn 122, a Swedish variant of the Leopard 2, being hit and penetrated by a 9 M133 Kornet anti-tank missile. The video depicted the crew abandoning the destroyed vehicle, highlighting the vulnerability of even the most modern tanks in high-intensity conflict zones. However, on the 4th of October 2023, Forbes reported that Ukrainian forces had managed to recover at least one STRV-122 tank and sent it for repairs, demonstrating their efforts to maintain and restore combat capabilities. As of the 7th of July 2024, according to the Oryx blog, photographic and video evidence confirmed that at least 21 Ukrainian Leopard 2 tanks had been destroyed. This included 6 Leopard 2A6s, 1 Stridsvagn 122, 10 Leopard 2A4 Habs A4Vs, 1 Leopard 2R, and 3 BERGEPANZER-3 armored recovery vehicles. Additionally, 24 more Ukrainian Leopard 2s of various models were confirmed as damaged to varying degrees or abandoned by their crews, including 11 Leopard 2A4 Habs A4Vs, 5 Leopard 2A6s, 6 Stridsvagn 122s, and 2 Leopard 2 Rupees. These losses underscore the harsh realities of armored warfare in Ukraine and the significant risks faced by tank crews on both sides of the conflict. Leopard 2 Variants Overview. Leopard 2, Baseline Model. The baseline Leopard 2, often referred to informally as the A0 model, represents the first series production version of the Leopard 2 main battle tank. Produced from October 1979 until March 1982, a total of 380 units were built, 209 by Krauss-Maffei and 171 by Mach. These initial tanks came equipped with a variety of systems, including the WNAH-22 electrical hydraulic stabilizer, a fire control computer, a laser rangefinder, a wind sensor, the EMES-15 general-purpose telescope, and the Perry R-17 panoramic periscope. The gunner's primary sight was the Faro Z-18, and the turret roof was fitted with a computer-controlled tank testing set, the RPP-1-8. Notably, 200 of these vehicles were outfitted with a low light enhancer, PZB-200, instead of thermal imaging. Additionally, 2 chassis were specifically configured as driver training vehicles. Leopard 2A1. The Leopard 2A1 variant introduced several minor modifications and enhancements over the baseline model, most notably the inclusion of the gunner's thermal sight. Production of this variant took place in 2 batches, with the first batch comprising 450 tanks, 248 produced by Krauss-Maffei, chassis numbers 10,211 to 10,458, and 202 by Mach, chassis numbers 20,173 to 20,347. Deliveries of the 2A1 began in March 1982 and concluded in November 1983. Key updates in the Leopard 2A1 included modifications to the ammunition racks to align them with those used in the M1 Abrams tank and the introduction of redesigned fuel filters that reduced refueling time. A third batch of 300 additional Leopard 2 tanks was manufactured between November 1983 and November 1984, including 165 by Krauss-Maffei, chassis numbers 10,459 to 10,623, and 135 by Mach, chassis numbers 20,375 to 20,509. This batch incorporated further minor changes, which were later retrofitted to the earlier 2A1 models. Leopard 2A2. The Leopard 2A2 designation was applied to vehicles from the first batch of Leopard 2 tanks that were upgraded to meet the standards of the second and third batches. This modernization effort, carried out between 1984 and 1987, focused on several key improvements. The original PZB-200 sights were gradually replaced with thermal sights for the EMES-15 fire control system as they became available, significantly enhancing the tank's night fighting capabilities. Additionally, filler openings and caps were added to the forward hull fuel tanks, allowing for separate refueling, which improved operational flexibility. Other enhancements included the installation of a deflector plate to protect the periscope and a large cover plate to safeguard the existing NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical protection system. The tanks were also equipped with new 5-meter towing cables, which were positioned differently compared to the original setup. These upgrades were applied to the modernized first batch tanks, as well as to the third, fourth, and fifth batches produced during this period. A distinctive feature of the upgraded Leopard 2A2 tanks is the circular plate that covers the hole where the crosswind sensor for the fire control system was removed. Leopard 2A3. The Leopard 2A3 variant represents the fourth batch of 300 vehicles, which were produced between December 1984 and December 1985. This batch included 165 tanks built by Krauss-Maffei, chassis numbers 10,624 to 10,788, and 135 tanks built by Mach, chassis numbers 20,510 to 20,644. The most significant change in the Leopard 2A3 was the integration of SEM-8090's digital radio sets, which were also being installed in Leopard 1 tanks at the time. This upgrade improved the tank's communication capabilities. Another notable modification in the Leopard 2A3 was the welding shut of the ammunition reloading hatches. Although these changes were relatively minor, they were enough to warrant the new designation of Leopard 2A3 for this batch of tanks. Despite the limited scope of the updates, the Leopard 2A3 continued to build on the platform's reputation for reliability and effectiveness on the battlefield. Leopard 2A4. The Leopard 2A4 is the most widely produced variant of the Leopard 2 series, incorporating several key upgrades over earlier models. These tanks featured an automated fire and explosion suppression system, a fully digital fire control system capable of handling new types of ammunition, and an improved turret design that included flat titanium, tungsten composite armor for enhanced protection. The Leopard 2A4 was produced in 8 batches between 1985 and 1992, with all older Leopard 2 models eventually upgraded to the 2A4 standard. By 1994, Germany had a total of 2,125 Leopard 2A4s in service, including 695 newly built units and the rest converted from earlier versions. The Netherlands also operated 445 of these tanks. The Leopard 2A4 was also manufactured under license in Switzerland, where it was known as the Panzer 87, PZ-87. The Swiss version included locally produced 7.5 mm MG-87 machine guns and communications equipment, along with an improved NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical, protection system. Switzerland operated 380 PZ-87 tanks. Post-Cold War, Germany and the Netherlands found themselves with surplus stocks of Leopard 2A4 tanks, leading to large-scale sales to NATO allies and other friendly nations. Among the countries that acquired these surplus tanks were Turkey, 354 vehicles, Greece, 183, Sweden, 160, Chile, 140, Finland, 139, Poland, 128, Austria, 114, Spain, 108, Canada, 107, Indonesia, 103, Singapore, 96, Norway, 52, Denmark, 51, and Portugal, 37. Swiss and Indonesian upgrades. The PZ-87WE, Werderhaltung, is a planned Swiss upgrade for the PZ-87, incorporating improvements such as the Leopard 2A6M's mine protection kit, thicker front glacis armor, and a turret fitted with Swiss-developed titanium alloy armor. The upgrade also includes an enhanced turret electric drive, a driver rear-view camera, an independent weapon station for the loader, and upgraded command and control systems. The Indonesian Army operates the Leopard 2 Republic Indonesia, Leopard 2 RI, an upgraded variant based on Rheinmetall's MBT Revolution upgrade for the Leopard 2A4. This variant features AMAP composite armor, improved fire control systems, and advanced battlefield management and situational awareness systems. International variants and upgrades. The Leopard 2A4 CHL is the Chilean variant of the Leopard 2A4, ordered in 2007. It includes upgrades like advanced electronics, sighting and information systems, a new suspension, and an L55 smoothbore gun, similar to the Leopard 2A6. Other upgrades include remote weapon stations and improved roof and side turret armor. The Leopard 2A4M can is a Canadian upgrade of surplus Leopard 2A4s acquired from the Royal Netherlands Army, tailored for the war in Afghanistan. This variant includes additional armor, a modified turret configuration, and a new fire control system, with some tanks retaining the L44 gun instead of being upgunned to the L55. The Leopard 2NG, Next Generation, is a Turkish upgrade developed by ASELSAN, featuring AMAP armor, overhauled turret mechanics, and a new fire control system. Finland expressed interest in this package before opting to purchase Leopard 2A6 vehicles from the Netherlands. Polish and Turkish modernization programs. Poland's Leopard 2 PETA Leaders program, in collaboration with Rheinmetall, involves upgrading 142 Leopard 2A4s with new armor modules, third-generation night vision systems, and enhanced fire protection. The program also includes the possibility of using advanced ammunition types. Turkey is modernizing its Leopard 2A4 fleet with the T1 modernization package, which includes explosive reactive armor, a remote-controlled weapon station, and an active protection system. The first batch involves 84 tanks, with the remaining tanks to be upgraded in a second batch. Some of the modernized tanks have been fitted with an Altai turret, armed with a 120 mm smoothbore gun and a heavy machine gun. These extensive modifications and the widespread adoption of the Leopard 2A4 by various countries underline the platform's adaptability and enduring relevance in modern armored warfare. Leopard 2A4V. On the 1st of September 2023, videos circulating on social media showcased Ukrainian military crews operating 30 Leopard 2A4 tanks that had been upgraded with contact explosive reactive armor, ERA, and rubber side screens similar to those found on the T-80U. Observers referred to this modified version as the Leopard 2A4V. This followed earlier sightings of a Canadian-supplied Leopard 2A4 in Ukraine, which had also been equipped with KONTA-KT-1 era. These modifications represent efforts to enhance the survivability of these tanks in the ongoing conflict, providing additional protection against anti-tank weapons. Leopard 2 Marksman. The Leopard 2 Marksman is a modernized variant of the Finnish Army's Marksman self-propelled anti-aircraft gun, SPAAG. Initially mounted on a T-55AM chassis, the Finnish Army upgraded these vehicles by installing the Marksman turret onto a Leopard 2A4 chassis. This upgrade, which began service in 2016, significantly improved the mobility and stability of the Marksman system, making it more effective both on-road and off-road. The larger Leopard 2 chassis provides a more stable firing platform, enhancing the overall performance of the anti-aircraft system. Leopard 2 Imp. The Leopard 2 Improved was a series of prototypes developed from 1988 onwards to explore potential upgrades beyond the Leopard 2A4 model. The project included a component testbed, KVT, built in 1989, followed by 2 troop trial vehicles, TVM, aimed at testing enhanced armor protection and other improvements. These prototypes introduced wedge-shaped spaced add-on armor at the turret front, along with additional hull and roof armor, which significantly increased the tank's resistance to hollow charges and kinetic energy penetrators. The design avoided creating a shot trap, as the new armor did not deflect incoming rounds toward vulnerable areas like the hull or turret ring. The gun mantlet was also redesigned to accommodate the new armor. Aside from the improved armor, the Leopard 2 Improved prototypes featured enhanced optics, navigation systems, and electronics. After initial trials in Germany, the second TVM prototype was modified, becoming the TVM2 mod. By removing some add-on armor components, laying the groundwork for the Leopard 2A5 model. One of these prototypes, TVM2, was tested in Sweden against the Leclerc and M1 Abrams, ultimately influencing Sweden's decision to adopt the Stridsvagn 122, a locally modified version of the Leopard 2A5. Leopard 2A5. The Leopard 2A5 was an evolution of the Leopard 2 Improved, with significant upgrades focused primarily on enhancing armor protection. The tank's turret received external add-on armor modules, and the internal armor was replaced with newer, more advanced materials. Additionally, the interior of the tank was fitted with spall liners, designed to reduce the danger of fragments in case the armor was penetrated. Key design changes included repositioning the commander's sight behind the hatch, now equipped with an independent thermal imaging channel, and relocating the gunner's sight to the turret roof, rather than embedding it in the front armor as in previous versions. The driver's hatch was also upgraded to a heavier, sliding model for improved protection. The Leopard 2A5 introduced an all-electric turret drive system, which replaced the older hydraulic system. This change enhanced the tank's reliability, improved crew safety, and reduced the overall weight. The gun's braking system was also upgraded, preparing the tank for the future installation of the L-55 gun barrel and allowing it to fire more powerful ammunition, such as the 53 German Mark's APF SDS. The first Leopard 2A5s were delivered to the German Army Tank School in 1995, and by December of that year, they had begun to enter service with Panzer Battalion 33. Leopard 2A5 DK. The Leopard 2A5 DK is a Danish variant of the Leopard 2A5, similar to the Leopard 2A6 but with minor modifications tailored to the needs of the Danish Army. It retains many of the advanced features of the Leopard 2A5, including the upgraded armor and electric turret drives. Stridsvagn 122. The Stridsvagn 122, STRV 122, is a Swedish variant of the Leopard 2A5, also known as the Leopard 2A5S or Leopard 2 Improved A5SE. This version was developed specifically for the Swedish Army, with 120 units produced, 91 of which were built under license in Sweden. The STRV 122 features enhanced armor on the turret top and front hull, as well as improved command, control, and fire control systems. Externally, it differs from the Leopard 2A5 by having French GALIX smoke dispensers, different storage bins, and significantly thicker crew hatches. A variant of the STRV-122, known as the STRV-122B Plus Evolution, is equipped with modular AMAP composite armor from IBD Dyson-Roth. This variant provides 360 degrees protection against threats such as explosively formed penetrators, EFPs, rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs, and improvised explosive devices, IEDs. Despite the increased protection, the tank's width remains at 4 meters, 13 feet, with only a minimal weight increase of 350 kilograms, 770 pounds. Leopard 2 to 140. In the early 1990s, Rheinmetall began developing a 140mm smoothbore cannon intended for future tank designs. This initiative aimed to counter emerging Soviet tank developments, particularly rumors that new Soviet main battle tanks might be armed with significantly larger cannons, ranging from 135mm to 152mm. The 140mm cannon was part of a broader modernization program for the Leopard 2, known as KWS-3. The new cannon was tested and demonstrated impressive penetration capabilities, with a muzzle velocity around 2,000 meters per second, with the potential for even higher speeds. However, a significant issue emerged. The rounds for the 140mm cannon were so large and heavy that they were difficult for the tank crew to handle effectively. The KWS-3 upgrade included plans for a new turret designed to accommodate the 140mm cannon, equipped with an autoloader. This autoloader reduced the tank crew from 4 to 3, as it eliminated the need for a dedicated loader. The ammunition, totaling 32 rounds, was stored in a large compartment at the rear of the turret, separated from the crew to enhance survivability in case of a fire or explosion. The turret, which featured a turntable design, had the gun offset to the left to allow for the lateral feeding of ammunition into the cannon breech by the autoloader. This turret was powered by an electro-hydraulic drive and included an integrated fire control and information system, IFIS, for battlefield management. The crew was housed in an armored capsule, and the hull's ballistic protection was intended to meet or exceed the protection levels of the Leopard 2A5. Originally, it was projected that 650 Leopard 2 KWS-3 tanks would be produced. However, the KWS-3 program was ultimately canceled in 1995 due to changes in the political environment, likely influenced by the end of the Cold War and the shifting priorities of defense budgets. Despite the cancellation of the KWS-3 program, development of the 140mm cannon continued. Rheinmetall worked with British Royal Ordnance and the French company GIAT to further refine the weapon. The 140mm cannon was mounted on an older Leopard 2 prototype with a modified turret, known as T-19. This prototype was fitted with counterweights at the rear of the turret to balance the increased weight of the larger cannon. During live fire tests, the 140mm cannon demonstrated superior penetration power compared to the existing 120mm cannon, but its handling was less favorable. The absence of an autoloader in the prototype further limited its performance, as manually loading such large and heavy rounds proved challenging for the crew. The 140mm cannon project ultimately did not proceed beyond the prototype stage, and the Leopard 2 continued to be equipped with the 120mm cannon in subsequent variants. Leopard 2A6. The Leopard 2A6 represents a significant evolution in the Leopard 2 series, incorporating the Rheinmetall 120mm L-55 smoothbore gun, which offers enhanced firepower over its predecessor, the L-44. This model also introduced several other key upgrades aimed at improving performance and survivability. All German tank battalions designated as Crisis Intervention Forces have been equipped with the A6 variant. International acquisitions. Canada. In 2007, Canada acquired 20 Leopard 2A6 tanks from the Netherlands, initially delivered to support operations in Afghanistan. Portugal. Portugal followed suit in 2007, purchasing 37 Leopard 2A6 tanks from Dutch stocks, with deliveries completed by 2008. Finland. In January 2014, Finland purchased 100 Leopard 2A6 tanks along with munitions, simulators, and a 10-year supply of spare parts from the Netherlands. These tanks were delivered in batches from 2015 to 2019. Leopard 2A6A1. The Leopard 2A6A1 is a command variant that emerged from the KWSI program. This version is equipped with additional radios tailored to the communication needs of various command levels, from section leaders to battalion commanders. Depending on the level of command, the vehicle may include an array of VHF radios and a field telephone cable drum fitted at the rear. Leopard 2A6M. This version of the Leopard 2A6 features enhanced mine protection beneath the chassis and internal improvements to boost crew survivability. In 2007, Canada borrowed 20 A6M tanks from Germany to support their deployment in Afghanistan, where mine resistance was a critical requirement. Leopard 2A6 HEL. The Leopard 2 Hellenic is a custom variant of the 2A6 developed for the Greek army. It features additional reinforcements on the upper glacis plate and crew hatches and is equipped with a full Mexus armor package. The Hell variant also integrates the NATO interoperable INIOCHOS command and information system, along with a laser rangefinder and thermal imaging devices. Greece ordered 170 of these tanks in 2003, with deliveries completed between 2006 and 2009. A total of 140 were built locally in Greece by ELBO, entering service in 2008. Leopard 2A6M can. The Canadian version of the Leopard 2A6M, the 2A6M can, includes modifications such as black boxes mounted on the rear of the turret bustle and standoff slat armor. Initially, 20 tanks were loaned from Germany for use in Afghanistan, retaining their original German MG3 machine guns. Ex-Dutch Leopard 2A6 tanks were later modified to meet German 2A6M specifications and served as restitution for the loaned vehicles. Canadian Leopard 2s in Afghanistan were eventually fitted with air conditioning units, addressing the extreme heat of the desert environment, and Saab's Barracuda camouflage mats to reduce solar heat absorption by 50%. Leopard 2A6TR. The Leopard 2A6TR was the Turkish variant proposed during the Turkish Army's tank procurement project in 2000. Based on the 2A6EX, this project was ultimately abandoned in favor of developing Turkey's indigenous Altay main battle tank. The Leopard 2A6, with its combination of enhanced firepower, improved protection, and adaptability for various international requirements, remains a cornerstone of modern armored warfare. Leopard 2E is a Spanish variant of the Leopard 2A6, featuring enhanced armor protection tailored to meet the specific needs of the Spanish Army. This version was developed through a co-production program between Spain and Germany, initiated as part of a broader defense collaboration agreement made in 1995. This agreement included the temporary loan of 108 Leopard 2A4 tanks from the German Army to the Spanish Army, with the understanding that these tanks would eventually become the property of Spain. In January 2006, it was confirmed that Spain had paid a total of €15,124,014 over 10 yearly installments, securing full ownership of these tanks by 2016. In 1998, the Spanish government approved a plan to locally produce 219 Leopard 2E tanks, alongside 16 Leopard 2Er recovery vehicles, Buffalo, and 4 training vehicles. Santa Barbara Sistemas, a prominent Spanish defense contractor, was selected as the main contractor for this project. The program had a total budget of €1.939 billion and included integrated logistical support, comprehensive training for crew instructors and maintenance engineers, as well as simulators for driving, turret operation, maintenance, aiming, and shooting. The first deliveries of the Leopard 2E began in 2004, marking a significant enhancement to Spain's armored capabilities. This version of the Leopard 2 is distinguished by its greater armor protection compared to the standard 2A6, making it well suited for the operational requirements of the Spanish Army. Leopard 2 Pita Leaders. The Leopard 2 Pita Leaders is a Polish modernized variant of the Leopard 2A4, developed in partnership with Rheinmetall and the Polish armaments group, Polska Grupa Zbrojeniowa, PGZ. Designed to enhance Poland's armored capabilities, the Leopard 2 Pita Leaders is tasked with a range of missions including assault, territory control, and providing support to mechanized and motorized units in all weather conditions, both day and night. Key upgrades over the Leopard 2A4 include advanced modernization of the commander's and gunner's sights, additional ballistic protection modules on the turret, and the replacement of the hydraulic stabilization system with a new electric system. Additionally, the tank received new fire extinguishing and suppression systems, enhancing crew safety and vehicle survivability. The modernization also introduced a new commander's control and monitoring system, an auxiliary power unit, APU, for improved operational capability, and a redesigned turret stowage compartment for better crew equipment management. The main gun was upgraded to accommodate new types of programmable ammunition, significantly boosting its firepower. Furthermore, the Leopard 2 PETA leaders features an integrated day-night rear camera for the driver, improving situational awareness. Due to the increased weight from these upgrades, customized towing vehicles were also included as part of the modernization package. The Leopard 2 PETA leaders is currently in service with the Polish land forces, with 24 tanks from the first batch of 128 and the second batch of 14 Leopard 2A4s already upgraded to the 2 PETA leaders standard. The remaining tanks are scheduled to be upgraded to the enhanced 2PL M1 standard. Leopard 2 Paseo. The Leopard 2 Paseo, Peace Support Operations, is a specialized variant of the Leopard 2 main battle tank, developed with a focus on urban warfare, a type of combat increasingly encountered during peacekeeping missions. The Leopard 2 Paseo was designed to address the specific challenges of operating in densely populated urban environments, where traditional tank designs might struggle. Key features of the Leopard 2 Paseo include enhanced all-around protection to safeguard against various threats common in urban settings, such as improvised explosive devices, IEDs, and rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs. To improve its effectiveness in close-quarter combat, the tank is equipped with a secondary weapon station, allowing for more flexible and responsive defense against nearby threats. The Leopard 2 Paseo also comes with an obstacle clearance blade, OCB, which allows the tank to clear debris and barriers commonly found in urban battlefields. The tank's gun barrel is shorter compared to standard versions, which improves maneuverability in tight city streets, albeit at the cost of some range. Additionally, the tank includes non-lethal armaments and advanced close-range surveillance capabilities provided by integrated camera systems, which enhance situational awareness in complex urban environments. Further improvements include a powerful searchlight for better visibility during night operations and other modifications designed to improve the tank's mobility and endurance in built-up areas. The overall design philosophy of the Leopard 2 Paseo shares similarities with the Tank Urban Survival Kit, TUSK, developed for the American M1 Abrams, both aimed at enhancing survivability in urban combat. Although the Leopard 2 Paseo was initially developed as a technology demonstrator, it played a crucial role in the development of subsequent Leopard 2 variants, particularly the Leopard 2A7 Plus, which integrates many of the PSO's urban warfare enhancements. Leopard 2A7. The Leopard 2A7 is an advanced version of the Leopard 2 main battle tank, developed with a focus on improving the tank's performance in conventional warfare rather than optimizing it specifically for urban combat. This variant represents a significant enhancement over its predecessors, incorporating a range of upgrades designed to improve battlefield survivability, firepower, and crew comfort. A total of 20 Leopard 2A7 vehicles were initially provided for conversion, based on former Dutch Leopard 2A6NL models that were returned to Germany by Canada. The upgrade program extended the original modifications found in the Leopard 2A6M and included several key improvements. One such enhancement is the integration of a crew compartment cooling system, which was previously part of the Leopard 2A6M HEL series. This system is critical for maintaining crew performance in high-temperature environments. Additionally, the Leopard 2A7 is equipped with a new 20 kilowatts, 27 horsepower auxiliary power unit, APU, based on the Steyr Motors M12 TCAUI engine. This APU ensures that the tank's electronic systems can operate independently of the main engine, reducing the vehicle's thermal and acoustic signature when stationary. The tank also features the Saab Barracuda Mobile Camouflage System, MCS, with heat transfer reduction, HTR Cool Cam, which helps to reduce the tank's visibility to thermal sensors, enhancing its stealth capabilities on the battlefield. For improved battlefield management, the Leopard 2A7 incorporates the Integriertes Führungs- und Informationssystem, IFIS, a combat management and information system that enhances the crew's situational awareness and command capabilities. The tank's onboard network has been optimized with ultracapacitors installed in the chassis and turret, ensuring reliable power delivery to critical systems. The digital intercom system has been upgraded to the SOTAS iodine monophosphide, providing clearer and more secure communications. Other upgrades include a renewal of the fire suppression system in the crew compartment and the retrofitting of the Attica thermal imaging module in the commander's optics, further improving target acquisition and engagement capabilities. The weapon system of the Leopard 2A7 has also been adapted for firing high-explosive HE ammunition, adding versatility to the tank's arsenal. The Leopard 2A7 is fitted for, but not equipped with, additional passive side protection armor, which can be added as needed to enhance the tank's defensive capabilities. The first Leopard 2A7 was delivered to the German Army in Munich in December 2014, with the majority of the initial batch going to Tank Battalion 203. A few vehicles were allocated to the Armored Corps Training Center and the Technical School for Land Systems and School for Technology of the Army, with one vehicle retained by Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann, KMW, as a reference. Internationally, the Leopard 2A7 has also been adopted by several other countries. The Danish Armed Forces, for instance, received their first Leopard 2A7 tanks in a batch upgraded from the Leopard 2A5DK variant in Germany, with a total of 44 vehicles expected by 2022. Additionally, reports suggest that Singapore may have acquired up to 45 Leopard 2A7 tanks between 2016 and 2019, although the Singaporean Ministry of Defense has not officially confirmed this acquisition, possibly to minimize regional concerns. In February 2023, Norway placed an order for 54 Leopard 2A7 tanks, with deliveries expected to begin in 2026. This order includes an option for an additional 18 vehicles if needed. The Norwegian order was later specified as a unique 2A8 Nor subvariant, tailored to meet Norway's specific requirements. Leopard 2A7 Plus. The Leopard 2A7 Plus is an advanced variant of the Leopard 2 main battle tank, designed by Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann, KMW, to meet the demands of both low-intensity and high-intensity conflicts. It was first introduced to the public at the Eurosatory Defense Expo in 2010, labeled as developed by KMW, tested and qualified by the German Ministry of Defense. The Leopard 2A7 Plus was specifically developed with enhanced capabilities for urban operations, often referred to under the designation URBOP. One of the key improvements in the Leopard 2A7 Plus is its modular armor system, which significantly boosts the tank's protection. The front of the tank, including the turret and hull, is equipped with a dual-layer armor kit that enhances its ability to withstand direct hits. The tank also provides 360 degrees protection against rocket-propelled grenades, RPGs, and enhanced mine protection, making it more survivable in urban combat scenarios. This modular armor system is based on components that were initially used by Canadian forces during their operations in Afghanistan, ensuring that the Leopard 2A7 Plus benefits from battle-tested technology. The tank's firepower has also been upgraded to include the ability to fire programmable high-explosive HE munitions, adding versatility in engaging various targets, from infantry to fortified positions. The traditional turret-mounted MG3 machine gun has been replaced with a stabilized FLW-200 remotely controlled weapon station, which provides improved accuracy and operational safety by allowing the crew to operate the weapon without exposing themselves to enemy fire. In addition to these improvements, the Leopard 2A7 Plus boasts enhanced mobility, sustainability, and situational awareness. These upgrades ensure that the tank can perform effectively in a wide range of combat environments, from urban centers to open battlefields. The improvements in situational awareness are particularly important in urban operations, where threats can come from any direction. The Leopard 2A7 Plus has garnered international interest, with several countries opting to include it in their military arsenals. In December 2018, Hungary became the second operator of the Leopard 2A7 Plus, ordering 44 units under the subvariant designation 2A7HU. Qatar was the first country to adopt this advanced version of the Leopard 2, reflecting the tank's appeal for nations seeking cutting-edge armored capabilities. The Leopard 2A7 Plus continues to build on the robust legacy of the Leopard 2 series, offering state-of-the-art technology and protection to meet the challenges of modern warfare, particularly in complex and dynamic urban environments. Leopard 2A8. The Leopard 2A8 is an upcoming variant of the Leopard 2 main battle tank, based on the Leopard 2A7HU model, but featuring several significant upgrades to enhance its combat effectiveness and survivability in modern warfare. Among the key improvements is the integration of the Trophy Active Protection System, APS, designed to intercept and destroy incoming anti-tank missiles and rocket-propelled grenades. Additionally, the Leopard 2A8 will include an advanced all-around situational awareness system with sensor fusion capability, providing the crew with a comprehensive understanding of their surroundings and potential threats. Orders. Germany. In response to the need to replace the 18 Leopard 2A6 tanks provided to Ukraine, the German Ministry of Defense initiated plans to procure a batch of 18 Leopard 2A8 tanks in May 2023, with an option for an additional 105 units. By July 2024, Germany's Budget Committee approved the full purchase of 105 additional tanks under a contract valued at €2.93 billion. The deliveries of these tanks are scheduled between 2027 and 2030, with some units expected to be deployed with the 45th Panzer Brigade in Lithuania. Czech Republic. In May 2023, the Czech Ministry of Defense began negotiations for the acquisition of 70 to 77 Leopard 2A8 tanks, including domestic manufacturing rights for certain components of the tank. By June 2024, the Czech government approved the purchase of 77 tanks, with deliveries expected by 2030. The total cost of the procurement is estimated to be 52 billion Czech crowns. Lithuania. In July 2023, the Lithuanian Ministry of Defense announced that the Leopard 2A8 was the only tank meeting its requirements, leading to the rejection of bids from other tank manufacturers, such as the M1 Abrams and K2 Black Panther. By January 2024, the Lithuanian State Defense Council agreed to proceed with the purchase of the Leopard 2A8 tanks, though the exact number of vehicles and the final cost were still under negotiation. Italy. The Italian government confirmed in July 2023 its intention to purchase up to 250 Leopard 2A8 tanks, with procurement finalized on the 21st of February 2024. The final order included 132 Leopard 2A8 tanks and 130 other vehicles, totaling €8.5 billion, with deliveries scheduled to be completed by 2037. Netherlands. In August 2023, the Dutch Ministry of Defense began planning the acquisition of up to 52 Leopard 2A8 tanks to supplement their existing fleet of 18 leased Leopard 2A6 tanks. However, it was revealed in February 2024 that the Dutch defense budget for that year did not allocate any funding for this purchase, leaving the future of this acquisition uncertain. Leopard 2A8 Nor. The Leopard 2A8 Nor is a specialized variant of the Leopard 2A8, customized for the Norwegian Armed Forces. Originally, Norway had ordered 54 Leopard 2A7 Nos, but by mid-June 2023, the order was converted into the new 2A8 Nor variant due to various Norwegian-specific modifications. The primary difference from the German 2A8 model lies in the integration of a Norwegian-designed C4IS, command, control, communications, computers, intelligence, and surveillance solution. This includes Kongsberg's ICS, Cortex solution, and Teleplan Globe's FACNAV, nor BMS battlefield management system, enhancing the tank's operational capabilities in line with Norway's defense needs. Leopard 2 ARC 3.0. The Leopard 2 ARC 3.0, unveiled at the Eurosatory exhibition in June 2024, is a modern iteration of the Leopard 2 tank equipped with cutting-edge technology. It features an unmanned turret armed with a 120mm smoothbore gun, fed by a modular linear autoloader capable of firing 3 rounds in 10 seconds. The gun can be upgraded to 130mm or 140mm calibers. Its secondary armament includes a Remote Weapon Control System, RWCS, with a 30 by 113mm cannon designed to counter drone threats, as well as an anti-tank missile. The weapon suite is adaptable for 3D line of sight, loss, and non-line of sight, NLOS, engagements. The tank is equipped with an active protection system and smoke grenade launchers for enhanced survivability. It weighs under 60 tons, has a length of 7.95 meters, extending to 11.17 meters with the barrel, a width of 3.77 meters, and a height of 2.44 meters to the turret roof. Its engine generates 1,500 horsepower, allowing a top speed of 65 kilometers per hour and a range of 460 kilometers. The tank operates with a crew of 3, commander, driver, and gunner, all located within the chassis. Engineering and driver training tanks. Bergpanzer BPZ-3 Buffalo, an armored recovery vehicle, ARV, based on the Leopard 2 chassis, equipped with a bulldozer, crane, and integral winch, allowing it to recover damaged vehicles even in rough terrain. It also features a machine gun for self-defense, smoke grenade launchers, and NBC protection. It is used by Germany, the Netherlands, Canada, Greece, Singapore, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. Panzerschnellbrücke 2 and Leguan. These are armored vehicle-launched bridge systems based on the Leopard 2 chassis. They can deploy sturdy mobile bridges capable of supporting vehicles, including other Leopard tanks, across rivers and gaps. The Leguan system is modular and has been tested by the German Bundeswehr. AEV-3 Kodiak, a combat engineering vehicle based on the Leopard 2 chassis, equipped with a bulldozer blade, excavator arm, and winches. It is designed for obstacle clearance, including minefields, and can be fitted with various armaments for defense. The AEV-3 Kodiak is used by Germany, the Netherlands, Singapore, Sweden, and Switzerland. Driver training tank, Fahrschulpanzer, a non-combat Leopard 2 variant designed for training tank drivers. It features a fixed observation cab in place of the turret, with space for an instructor and observing students. Leopard 2R, a heavy breaching and demining vehicle developed by Patria for the Finnish Army, based on the Leopard 2A4. It features a mine plow or dozer blade and an automated marking system. 6 were converted, all of which were donated to Ukraine in 2023. Leopard 2L, an armored vehicle-launched bridge developed by KMW and Patria for the Finnish Army, based on 10 rebuilt Leopard 2A4 tanks to carry the Leguan bridge. Wisent 2, a multi-purpose Leopard 2-based armored support vehicle, capable of conversion between an armored recovery vehicle, ARV, and an armored engineer vehicle, AEV, in less than 5 hours, developed by Flensburger Fahrzeugbau. The Leopard 2 stands as a testament to the evolution of modern armored warfare. From its inception during the Cold War to its current role on the battlefields of today, this formidable tank has continually adapted to meet the changing demands of combat. Across its various models, from the original Leopard 2A0 to the cutting-edge 2A8 variants, the Leopard 2 has proven itself time and again as a resilient and versatile platform, capable of withstanding the rigors of both high-intensity warfare and peacekeeping missions. The global adoption of the Leopard 2 by numerous armed forces highlights its reputation as one of the world's most reliable and effective main battle tanks. Whether serving on the front lines of NATO operations, being a crucial part of defense strategies in Europe and beyond, or playing a pivotal role in modern conflicts, the Leopard 2 continues to be a symbol of military strength and technological excellence. As we look to the future, the ongoing innovations and upgrades ensure that the Leopard 2 will remain at the forefront of armored warfare, ready to meet new challenges and secure its place in the annals of military history. The legacy of the Leopard 2 is not just in the steel and armor of its design, but in the countless missions it has undertaken and the lives it has protected. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the past, present, and future of one of the most iconic tanks ever built. Stay tuned as the story of the Leopard 2 continues to unfold, shaping the future of armored warfare for decades to come.